Two referees tonight, Terry Gregson and Richard Trottier. Shane Heyer and Dan Shakti are the linesmen. The Avalanche begin with Sakic, Hayduk, and Fleury against the Red Wings grind line of Draper, McCarty, and Maltby.
And remember, here in Detroit on the road, this is Scotty Bowman's choice to have this line against Sakic's line. Fleury wearing the visor for the first time tonight.
And away we go with Game 4. And a big early hit by McCarty on Lefebvre. And the Red Wings dump it in. Here's Hayduk in the corner. And up the boards to Sakic, and he'll turn and flip one. Now to center for Fleury. Fleury down his off wing. He gets to it in behind the Red Wing goal. Now Sakic in the corner. He's run down. Two big hits early by the Red Wings. And now McCarty, and he takes one from Fleury. So the tone has been set here in Game 4.
You knew Detroit was going to come out and do this. On the bench for the Avalanche, they're ready for this kind of hockey game.
Now Forsberg in for Kamensky, but that is offside. You can't hear yourself think, let alone a whistle, here at sold-out Joe Louis Arena.
Now the thing for the Avalanche, you know Detroit is upset with how they play. They're going to come out and they're going to play a physical first 5-7 minutes. Bob Hartley's club has been down 1-0 in each of the 3 games. Eisman scored about the 4-minute mark of Game 1, 6-minute mark of Game 2 in the first period, and then the first 7 minutes of Game 3. So the Avalanche want to fight that. Stay away from that. Don't take a bad penalty and try to get that first goal in tonight's game.
You know, interestingly, in the first 2 games, the Avalanche had close to 50 hits in each of the first 2 games. In Game 3, they had only 14. So maybe their focus was in the right place in Game 3.
And also, Detroit did not hit as much in Game 3. They look like they're coming out to do a lot more of that. The Avalanche.
Here's a drive by Clark and a good glove save by Waugh with Martin Lapointe screening the Avs goalie.
Now there's a good play right off the bat by Ozolinsh. Martin Lapointe, who has not played as well as we know he can, and he's going to come out with a big game. Takes a little shot at Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh immediately turns to the referee. Now the puck goes in front. Lapointe gives him a little shot, and Ozolinsh turns away. The Avalanche have taken too many penalties in the playoffs. They know it. And they'll be fighting it tonight. You do not want to let a power play be that first goal in a game.
So far in this series, in 3 games, the Red Wings have had 21 power plays. The Avalanche, 16. The Avalanche can't afford that kind of imbalance.
You really want to be smart in the first period, especially.
Here comes Sakic. No score early. To the corner for Milan Hayduk, and knocked away by Doug Brown. And Adam Foote has to race back for the Avalanche. And icing called. And then Lefebvre interfered with the Red Wing player Fedorov. And they'll bring the face-off to the other end.
One of the players missing tonight, we've talked about it, is Igor Larionov, number 8 for the Detroit Red Wings. He's their 3rd line center. He plays in behind Eisman and Fedorov, who sometimes Eisman and Fedorov will be on the same line. But for Scotty Bowman, they miss Larionov. He plays a point in the power play. He's a key man in the dressing room. Great skills, even though he's 38 years old, and they miss his talent and his presence. Someone else is going to have to step up and have a big game.
Now the Red Wings say he has a dislocated pinky finger, although he wears a cast on the hand, which is unusual, and they could be trying to pull the...
Bluffing?
Yeah, exactly. BSing.
How unusual in the playoffs.
Deadmarsh on the face-off. Now for Drury back on the point to Ozolinsh. He shoots one. That was blocked. Ozolinsh gets it again. Trying to walk in. He does. In front. Drury shoots. He scores! Chris Drury gets a big early goal. 1:28 in, and the Avalanche lead 1-0 as they celebrate in Lodo.
Are they going to have a look at this one, John? Are they going to have a look? A lot of people right down in front. Just drop that puck. It's all we just put. You don't want any phone calls from upstairs. Just drop that puck. In Game 3, the Avalanche, Detroit started off the same way. Now watch in front, but it was the Deadmarsh line with Podine and Drury. Now the puck's in the crease, no question. It was in the crease first. No Avalanche was even close. But Deadmarsh wins the draw clean. Ozolinsh takes a shot, it's blocked. Presence to walk in. All of a sudden, Drury. Now Drury's got goals in back-to-back games.
His second of the playoffs at 128. So the first time in this series, the Avalanche get the first goal. Here's Sean Podine after it. Now for Deadmarsh. Here's Drury off the boards. A drive, and he just missed the net as Ranford was screened. And the puck played back in the Red Wings zone, offside.
Now for Billy Ranford, it's another goal. In the first 2 minutes of a game, you know he wanted to come out and make a couple of big saves. You really can't fault him. The Avalanche were right in on top of him. Podine does a nice job of screening him. To the left as we're looking is Drury. He battles, finds the puck, works hard to get that goal. But the big key for the Avalanche here, now they planted the siege. Now you've got the players from Detroit saying, you know, is Billy going to bounce back? Remember, they don't know this guy that well. He's only played now, this is his 8th game as a Red Wing.
The goal by Drury from Ozelinch and Deadmarsh at 128. Here's Fedorov, a shot. And Waugh a save, and the rebound caroms off the back of Lefebvre right to Patrick.
And what I mean by knowing someone is Patrick Waugh. We talked about when Patrick Waugh has allowed 5 goals in a playoff game, he has bounced back every time and been undefeated. And he wins that next game. So the Avalanche almost walking with an air of confidence into that next game. For Detroit, they're still feeling out the process. And Scotty Bowman knows that this is a key part in this hockey game. His club needs to take over the rest of this period.
It's not like Ranford had a banner regular season. In 32 games in Tampa Bay, his record was 3-18-3, goals against of 3.9. And remember, before these playoffs, he had not won a playoff game since 1996.
He had not played in 3 weeks, so he plays 3 games in 5 nights, including the last game.
Sakic gets the puck in deep behind Ranford. The shot's now 2-2. The Avs lead 1-0. And the veteran Larry Murphy with it. And he'll start up from behind his goal. Now to center. Milana Hayduk gets back and chips it on to Sakic. Now back for Hayduk. He's upended at center by Draper. No call. And the Red Wings Murphy floats it in. And wide to Patrick Waugh. Here's John Clem up the boards. And now work to center for Joe Sakic. He's got some room. Makes a move on Samuelson. Fires it right on goal. And a good save there by Ranford. Kept in by Clem. Clem right point. Long drive. Tipped by Sakic. And over the goal. And now Ranford reaches back and holds on for a faceoff.
For the Avalanche, you saw exactly what Detroit wanted to do. They came out and put the big hits on. And then the Avalanche score. So now the game has calmed down. Calmed down considerably. The crowd is not waving their little pom-poms. Things are slowing down. Sakic looks like he's got the legs tonight. Smart play by Sakic right there. The reason he darted back over the center ice line, he wanted to stay onside when he took that pass. Sakic yet to have a goal for the first 3 games of this series. And you know that's not going to last very long.
For Bob Hartley's club, this marks the 5th time in 9 playoff games the Avalanche have scored the first goal. For the Red Wings, it's only the 2nd time in 7 playoff games that they haven't picked up the first goal.
Yeah, the loss to the Avalanche last game, that was the first loss of the 99 playoffs for Detroit.
Here's Ozelinch getting the puck into the Red Wing zone. Ranford to play it for Chelios. Forsberg cuts it off. Now Kaminsky near the line. He was checked there by Gilchrist. And he'll race him with Wendell Clark. To Clark right in. Oh, big save by Waugh. As Clark appeared to have the 5-hole. But Waugh got it closed in the nick of time. And Forsberg gets it out for the Avalanche.
One thing, especially here in Detroit, that Waugh has done well is move laterally to make some saves. Brendan Shanahan had 2 or 3 great opportunities last game. Right there, Clark again. Now watch how he reads the play. This time going left to right. Takes it away.
Again, the Subaru Forester has outperformed the competition, earning the highest overall rating of vehicles tested in its class in a recent crash test. But the real beauty of the Forester is that it can help you avoid accidents altogether by automatically transferring power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip for maximum control. Subaru Forester, the beauty of all-wheel drive. Drive the Forester, rated highest overall of vehicles tested in its class at your Subaru dealer.
Checker gives you more oil choices like Chevron or 76, both just 79 cents a quart every day after mailing rebate. More brands, more parts. Checker, the place to start for parts.
Tonight's Checker Auto Part leaderboard, plus-minus leaders. How about the playoff for Aaron Miller?
+2 last game now, along with Dixon Ward, the Buffalo Sabres, #1, +8. Aaron Miller was +3 during the regular season. He's one of those guys for the Avalanche that has really stepped it up through the first 9 games.
Well, after that last whistle, they'll appoint an undisciplined minor for roughing, and the Avalanche get a power play.
One of those no need to penalties. It was completely, the whistle had blown completely behind the play.
And the Red Wings clear it. The Avalanche in Game 3, 1 of 4 in the power play and 2 for 16 in the series. Through the playoffs, they are now 9 of 58, just under 16%. And the Avs get crossed up deep in their own zone. Now Lemieux on for Ozolinsh. Up front, Sakic, Deadmarsh, and Fleury. Here's a pass to Deadmarsh. He's knocked down. Lidstrom gets back to the Red Wings. Plays it back to the goal for Chelios. Now to Shanahan. And it's cleared down the ice.
So John talking away there.
40 gone in the power play. Avs up 1-0. Here is Lemieux now for Kamensky. Weaves into the zone. Wrist shot. Hit a leg, went wide. Hayduk gets it in the corner. And the Red Wings come up with it. Can't clear it. Forsberg on it. Now for Kamensky. He'll play one in behind the goal. On to Hayduk. Good hustle. Now for Forsberg. Pass in front. Hayduk now back for Forsberg. On the line to Lemieux. Long shot. Big rebound in front. Not cleared by the Red Wings. Here's Lemieux again. On the wing for Forsberg. On this Avalanche power play, Forsberg back to Lemieux. One-timer is high off the glass. Forsberg again. Checked by Fedorov, but Hayduk kept it in. And the rookie works it back for Forsberg. To the corner to Kamensky. In front, no one there. Here's Lemieux right in. Slap shot, and it's saved by Ranford. Rebound back of the goal. Kamensky gets it again. His pass in front, and finally cleared away by the Red Wings. Now Ozolinsh for Colorado. 15 to go in the power play. Back into the zone. His pass too far for Forsberg, and Maltby is there to drive it down the ice.
But a good power play for the Avalanche. Again, things that sitting on Detroit's bench, you're saying, gentlemen, they're on their game, but we can't take any more penalties.
Here's Lidstrom down the boards for Detroit, and his pass knocked down by Foot. And the Red Wings get their penalized player back. So the Avalanche 0 for 1. Here's Fleury, darts to center. Fleury trying to go by everybody. Now backhander by Sakic is turned away by Ranford. The Avalanche are shooting from everywhere tonight. Now Lidstrom, and he'll bounce it in. The puck in front. Now Chelios gets it. He walks in, and a save by Waugh with the glove, and no further action. Coming up tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, Rocky Mountain at 6. Fox Sports News tonight, followed by The Last Word, Baseball Max, and at 10, Fox Sports News Prime Time.
And what's not coming up in the next couple of days is Game 5. The Avalanche and Detroit get 2 days off. This is their scheduled 2 days off in this series. They will not play until noon on Sunday. So for the Avalanche, they get a break after this game. And there's Adam Foote, who has led the Avalanche players in ice time through the first 3 games of this series. Pat Carnes right there to his, as we're looking to the right. Oh man, he looks like he's playing with some teeth there, John.
That's tough. That is tough. And he is so question, they have heart and soul on their back line. 1-0 for the Avalanche on the goal by Drury at 1:28. Avs control the faceoff, and here they come to center. Aaron Miller now for Drury. And he'll send a bouncer in wide of the goal. Dandino gets back, pressured by Podine, and the puck up the wing for Clark. Now on for LaPointe. Is behind the back pass, intercepted, and that put the play offside.
Well, John, we're talking now just about the first 3 games of this series. You look at the ice time. Adam Foote leads all Avalanche players over 28 minutes. For Lidstrom, over 30 minutes per game so far in the series. We've only had 1 game going to overtime, and it was just for 4 minutes. So Lidstrom has played a lot, as has Adam Foote.
You know, Bob Hartley had a great line before game 1 of this series. I asked him about Foote. I said, could you play him 34 minutes? He said, no problem. He said, it's a good thing we don't pay Adam Foote by the hour. Because he might play an hour tonight.
Yeah, there's so much that's been made about Pronger and McGinnis. If asked, there's no question that Adam Foote could play 35 minutes in a hockey game.
Shots now 5-3 for the Avalanche. They make a quick change off that faceoff. And Kozlov to center now for Fedorov, intercepted by Ozolinsh. Now Fleury in for Haydu. And he was checked from behind by the veteran Doug Brown. Here's Lidstrom over for Murphy. Up the middle, Kozlov blocked at center, and here's Fleury on a partial break. Fleury walks in, and he didn't get a lot on it. Hayduk now in front to Ozolinsh, and his backhand pass was to a Redwing. 2 great chances there for the Avalanche. Here's Fedorov to Murphy, and he rolls it wide of the goal. Kozlov in deep. Now looks to center, and he does for Fedorov by him. Lidstrom kept it in the left point. Out of the corner for Brown. And chipped by him by Miller, and Haydu gets it out. Boy, did the Avalanche have some chances on that last rush. Icing here.
They've got good offensive jump again here tonight. Remember, they scored 5.
Shanahan in front to Yzerman. Fires it right on. And a big save by Waugh with the right pad. Red Wings kept it in. Yzerman a shot. And Holmstrom tipped it wide, and then he was knocked into Waugh and the net. And we get a whistle.
Well, you look at the numbers for Patrick Waugh, and he has, John, that was a ton of shots. And at the end of game 3, a little bit of a controversy. Patrick Waugh was upset with some of the things that happened in the 3rd period. The Avalanche did not play a smart 3rd period. A lot of turnovers. They sat back a lot. It was not the kind of 3rd period. Patrick Waugh was exhausted when the 3rd period was over. But one thing it might have done, it brought everybody down to earth and really realized that, hey, we left Patrick out there by himself a little bit. Let's give him a much better performance in tonight's game.
Could have been a good lesson that wasn't costly. Here's a shot by Samuelson, tipped on goal. Shanahan, the rebound, never got it through. Red Wings trying to keep it in. Here's Chelios, turns and fires one off a stick to the corner. And now Lefebvre on the far side, and he'll run it up the boards to center ice. 8 minutes gone in the first. The Avalanche with a 1-0 lead. Here's Foote. He'll drop it back in on Ranford. And now to the corner for Samuelson. To Chelios. Center ice feed for Shanahan. Now cross ice, and the ex-Ranger Samuelson gets it in there. And Watt tees it up for Lefebvre around the boards. Right to McCarty. His shot blocked. And Joe Sakic for the Avalanche. Now on for Adam Foote. To center for Haydu. And his long bouncer stopped by a Ranford. And this is the youngster Dandino in deep now up the boards for Draper. And he just ices it. And we'll get a whistle. If Clem gets there, he does.
Well, for Fleury, very strange sort of play where Fleury got cut. And it was, again, one of those little breaks in a hockey game that when they're going your way, can help turn a game around. Fleury got cut by Nicholas Lidstrom. Lidstrom, only 14 minutes of penalties all year, did not have a penalty going into game 3. And cuts Fleury for 4 minutes, gives the Avalanche a 5-on-3, and they tied that game up 1-1 on the 5-on-3. You see how well Fleury has played. Only needs 1 more point for a career high.
And ironically enough, now has 14 stitches. His number. 11:10 to go first period. 1-0 for the Avalanche here in game 4. Kozlov down the boards for Fedorov. Wrist shot. Law makes the pad save. Now the rebound right to Kozlov. He's always dangerous. Kozlov to the backhand. Looks for a shot. Now to the near side for Ward. Fires it in right into the chest of Drury. And a whistle. And the rookie from BU is shaken up, but he's a tough kid.
The first series against San Jose is very frustrating for Chris Drury. This is the guy that's probably going to win the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year. Of course, he and Hayduk were both up for the award, and he didn't score in that series. The Avalanche win the series. They move on here. Doesn't get a point the first couple of games, but last you could sense that his line, especially with Denmark being moved in the middle, was starting to play well. Look at the goals during the regular season. Only Parrish from Florida. But now Drury has stepped up, and he has goals in both games so far here in Detroit.
It marks the first time that 2 players from the same team have been nominated for the Calder Trophy since Brian Leach and Tony Granato were nominated for the Calder in '89. 2 ex-Rangers, or 1 ex-Ranger. Leach is still there, at least for now. And Leach is an unrestricted free agent, by the way. 1-0 here for Colorado. Kozlov works the puck into the zone. Now a centering pass by Dandeneau goes right to Waugh, and he won't take a chance. Let's check in downstairs with Drew Goodman.
All right, John and Peter, thanks very much. As you guys were talking about, it looks like Adam Foote will have something in common with Theo Fleury. He got a tooth knocked loose and his lip split open, and typical of a hockey player, he went right back out on the ice. They couldn't remove the tooth, though a dentist took a quick glance at him, and they tried to patch up his lip as best they could, but he may be visiting the dentist tomorrow.
No oil and vinegar on that salad at the Charter home tonight. That stings. Wow.
10:29 to go in the first period. The Avs with a 1-0 lead. The shot's now 6-5 for Detroit. As Lefebvre parks behind his own goal. Red Wings back off, and he gets to center. And he'll lift one in now for Val Kamensky. Lost the puck in behind the goal. Now in front, Forsberg missed it. Back on the point, foot. Slap shot, and that was just wide. I don't know if Ranford ever saw it. And Draper to center ice. Slowed up a bit by Forsberg. And now the Red Wings, Lidstrom. He'll put the puck to Maltby to the Avalanche line. Now dumped in by McCarty, but Draper is in. Offside, and then Foote gave McCarty a bit of a shot after the whistle.
Well, you can see what Detroit wants to do. Adam Foote has been a marked man so far in this game. McCarty a couple of times has come in hard like he's going to do. That's McCarty's job, is to come in and play hard on Foote. Foote's not going to let up if he gets a shot at McCarty. But there's no question that Detroit knows how much Adam Foote plays in a hockey game. That's a good hard hit by Foote. Stick down. McCarty saw him coming, but he just said, hey, don't worry, I'll be throwing as many as I get.
McCarty had 14 goals this year, but hasn't scored a goal in his last 26 games going back to February 3rd. So he's in a bit of a slump. Here are the Red Wings looking to tie the game. Wendell Clark hammered in behind the goal by DeVries. And they battle. Up the boards now for Reichel. And now for Dale Hunter, and he'll scoop it down the ice. And the Red Wings have to hurry back. This is Dandeneau, a converted winger, back to defense, and he's played well for Detroit.
But for Detroit, here's a line that has not been particularly effective for them. Gilchrist played last game. He was -2. That was his first game. LaPointe yet to score a goal. Now he's a good playoff performer.
Here's a dump in by Wendell Clark. Now LaPointe tips one in behind the Avs goal. Clemens there trying to chip it out. Clark cuts it off. Now Dale Hunter gets it. Hunter in some traffic. And the puck in the skates of Clem and Clark. And now finally picked up by the veteran Dale Hunter. What a big goal he scored in Game 3. Gave the Avs a 3-1 lead. Now Odgers, and he'll shovel it in. Chelios there for Detroit up the board for Clark. And checked at center. Hayduk gets it for the Avalanche. And he'll dump it in. And Ranford tees it up for Chelios. Up the board, Shanahan lost it. Wide open in front. It's Hayduk. And he's robbed by Ranford. Now back to Lefebvre, a shot. And that's knocked away. Sakic trying to keep it in. Detroit, and he'll roll it back to the neutral zone. But the Avalanche had another good scoring chance there. Now foot up the boards. Fleury lets it go. And that play is offside as Samuelsson brought it back in. Tonight? I don't think so. They're ready for a win, aren't they, Peter?
They are. John, just looking at the guys right now for the Avalanche. Sakic's line has had some good opportunities. They're getting on the puck well. They've made a couple of quick turnovers that led to scoring chances.
Our only goal thus far by Drury at 1:28. Here is Thomas Holmstrom. Down low for the Red Wings. Now to Shanahan. Looks to center. Holmstrom right in front. Saved by Waugh. Rebound. Eiserman is robbed by Waugh. And a penalty here against the Avalanche as Holmstrom was upended.
For Detroit, it's the man again, Stevie Yzerman. Yzerman already has 9 goals in the playoffs. That's a career high in the playoffs for Yzerman. This is only the 8th game of the playoffs. There's a lot of talk around Detroit about the fact that the Red Wings have been shooting high on Patrick Waugh. A lot of those shots that have gone in, or some of the shots that have gone in on Patrick Waugh high, have been made by Stevie Yzerman. Not many Stevie Yzermans, fortunately, around the National Hockey League.
And the fave goes off for cross-checking, so the Red Wings get their first power play tonight in the series. The Red Wings are 5 for 21. And they've had a power play goal in every game in these 99 playoffs. They lead the league with a power play percentage of over 27. The Avalanche get to it, and they clear it down the ice. The Red Wings' only power play goal in Game 3, remember, came in the last minute when they had the goalie pulled. So it really was like a two-man advantage. Should the Avs kill this penalty, Prime Star will donate $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics as the Avalanche cleared over the boards.
The Avalanche, you know, during the playoffs, you fight through everything. Claude Lemieux had the flu real bad last game in Game 3. You know, between periods, he was just sucking back the water. At the end of the game, I saw him walking out with 6 huge bottles of water. You couple that with the hit that McCarty put on him, stiff neck. And Lemieux is just, again, one of those guys. He just looked at me and said, what do you mean? I mean, of course I'm going to play. I feel terrible. My body hurts, but you're going to get out there and play. Scored a goal, big one for the Avalanche in Game 3.
Now the Red Wings on the power play. Here's Kozlov. Sets it up on the near wing. Back on the right point for Chelios. Wrist shot never got through. That was blocked by Podine. And he'll angle one off the boards and down the ice. 50 seconds gone in the Red Wings power play. 7 to go first period. 1-0 Avalanche. Nicholas Lidstrom to center. Weaves into the zone now for Chelios. Trying to center, he does, but it gets by everybody and out to center. So far in these playoffs, the Red Wings in 7 games have gotten only 1 goal from a defenseman. That was from Lidstrom in Game 2. Conversely, the Avalanche have 4 goals by their defense.
So much, of course, has been made about the defense for the Detroit Red Wings, adding Chelios Samuelsson.
Now the Wings with 35 to go in their power play. Here comes Yzerman down the far side, trying to cut in. Now to the corner. Sets it up on the near side. Here he comes again. Fires it off the leg of Clem and cleared down the ice. Or rather to center by Lemieux, and then it's brought in offside by Yzerman.
Hit the linesman. Lemieux went to dump it down the ice. Hit the linesman. The Avalanche blocked a couple of shots in tonight's game. One by Drury, you see right there, Lemieux, and then doing a smart thing. Just get the puck on these power plays and get it out of the zone. Detroit is so good about getting you running around. Good passing team. If you make a mistake, especially when you're killing a penalty, all of a sudden you're tired, you're out of position. Detroit gets you running around.
17 to go in Lefebvre's minor. Now it's Gilchrist. That center between McCarty and Maltby. The Avalanche control it, clear to center. Samuelsson now in for Murphy. And he'll chip one in behind the Avs goal. Adam Foote is there. Can't clear it out. Red Wings get it first. Murphy back on the line. Samuelsson, a shot got through, and Waugh made a good save. And the puck lifted to center by Miller. And the fade is back, so both clubs now 0 for 1 on the power play. Shots 9-6 Detroit, but the Avs lead. Maltby can't clear it. What Samuelsson does. And now Miller puts it off the boards to the red line. Blocked there by Maltby. Into the zone now for McCarty. Taken out by Ozelin. In comes Maltby. Now back on the line. To the corner again. Maltby hooked by Deadmarsh. And now Deadmarsh gets it behind his own goal. Chips it on the glass. But not by McCarty. Here's Aaron Miller again for the Avs. And he's got lots of time. The Red Wings want to make a change here. And Miller gets the center. His pass right to Samuelsson. And now Murphy for Detroit. Long aerial. And that will be offside as Yzerman was in ahead of the puck.
Scotty Bowman's got Fedorov, Yzerman, Shanahan on the same line.
To 40% off select items.
Well, in playoff series, you're going to see all kinds of little plays right there. Up on Deadmarsh. You know, you got to take the hit. That's the key. You take a hit, you make the play, you get the puck out of the zone.
Under 5 to go in the first period. The Avalanche with a 1-0 lead on the early goal by Drury. Now Forsberg steals the puck. 2-on-1 here with Lemieux. Trying to get it to Lemieux. He can't. He was pulled down by Lidstrom. As the Avalanche had another good chance. Now the puck at the Avs line. Lemieux for Kamensky. And he'll turn back for Forsberg. And he'll jam it in from center wide to Ranford. And the puck played behind the Red Wing goal for Lidstrom. He works it up the far side now for Brendan Shanahan. Can't dump it in over the head of Lefebvre. And now a loose puck gobbled up by Lidstrom. He works in with some room and some speed and gets it to the corner. Here's Holmstrom. Works down low. Now in front for Fedorov. And walked out across and made the save. He lost his stick but kept it out. And Foote will ice it. Another good chance for Detroit.
Well, Patrick Waugh, watched him. He knows. I mean, the thing when you talk with Patrick Waugh, it's always, you know, it's fun to talk with Patrick Waugh. He knows the game so well. This isn't a guy that says, I don't know how I stop the puck. He knows how he and why he stops the puck. He's got good technique. He'll tell you, I may not have the quickest glove. I may not do some things well, but I know the game. I battle, and I'll be there every shot. I think you'd love to have that kind of goalie behind you if you're an Avalanche player.
Fedorov gets the face-off. Here's Kozlov. Red Wings down by 1. He drops it. Fedorov long wrist shot. Oh, save again by Waugh. He saw it and stuck that glove out there and held it. With Patrick's 44 save performance on Tuesday, all time he is now 10-1 in the playoffs when he faces 40 or more shots.
If you're Detroit, now we talked about the Avalanche wanting to get not just shots on Ranford early, but get a goal early. Well, they did. But for Detroit, you know, it's been a while since they've beaten Waugh for a big goal. And now, if they, you know, Patrick is starting to get into one of those grooves where the next goal in this game is going to be huge.
Here's a shot by Murphy. That was well wide. And Theron Fleury gets it for the Avalanche. Puts it through his own legs and the legs of Doug Brown and gets it to center ice. And going back for the Red Wings is Lidstrom. On for Murphy. Fedorov can't control it. And Lefebvre will play it back to the Red Wing line.
For Fleury, he liked that visor for about 2 shifts. He said, see you later.
And the puck tipped in by Doug Brown right to Waugh. And gets it behind the goal for Adam Foote. And Foote goes up the boards. Fleury, good pass to Sackett. Can't knock it out of midair, and Fedorov has it again. Fedorov weaves through center. Now for Kozlov. Looks for a shot. Now the late man is Murphy. Lets it go, and that was wide. Fedorov in the corner. Taken to the boards by Von Hayduk. opening period. Fedorov still with it. Back on the line for Kozlov. Slap shot tipped by Deadmarsh. And that goes 10 rows deep. And time for tonight's Ford Trivia question. Which position, goalies, defense, forwards, has produced the most Conn Smythe Trophy winners for playoff MVP?
Talk so much about goalies being the pivotal position. Pivotal player in the playoffs. We'll see how that works out as far as playoff MVPs. There's Joe Sakic in '96. The Avalanche won the Cup, was the Conn Smythe winner.
Deadmarsh against Draper. 2:46 to play, first period.
For Deadmarsh, maybe try and go forward, get the puck out of the zone.
And he does. Good call, Peter. Former center iceman knows his stuff, doesn't he? Here's Aaron Ward, hit near the line by Drury. And now the Red Wings dump it in. The Red Wings have played this blind line, their fourth line, quite a bit in this opening period. And I would suspect the reason is they want some momentum. Here's Drury in the corner. And he's knocked down by a couple of Red Wings. No call. The puck off the glass, but not by Aaron Miller. Aaron Miller's backhander. That's blocked. Dandeneau trying to clear it, and he does. And Draper caught from behind by Drury. Now good pass by Miller. Here's Ozelin trying to ditch it in there for Podine, but that was intercepted. And Ward plays it off the boards. And that's offside at the Avs line. Coming up on Monday night, Larry Walker and the Rockies host the Reds. Join Dave Armstrong and George Prazer for all the action, starting with the pregame report at 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central on Fox Sports Net Rocky Mountain.
Bob Hartley has got to be pleased with the way his club has come out here in this first period. Disciplined, only the one penalty by Lefebvre, and that was almost a need-to penalty in close. There was a big scramble in front of Patrick Roy, but nothing away from the play. No, nothing where you're losing discipline and hurting your hockey club.
And a much better defensive game by the Avs so far. They were very loose in that third period. Granted, they had a 5-2 lead. Here's Kamensky. Now the puck chipped in the air and out of play. As a matter of fact, in all 9 Avalanche playoff games this year, the teams have combined for over 60 shots. And in comparison, in the Avalanche's last 9 regular season games, that happened only one time. Usually it's the reverse.
And, you know, you would think playoff shots would be down. You look at, there's been 69 shots per game on average, but for the two clubs, the Avalanche 34.5, the opponent's 34. I mean, that is, you know, there haven't been that much overtime. Just about, you know, every game is 10, 12 shots every period. The Avalanche want to bring that down, 24-25 if they can.
1:48 to go, first period. Forsberg gets the face-off from Gilchrist. Now back on the point to DeVries, and he'll chip one behind the Wings goal. Chelios is there. Gets it in the corner for Clark, and up the middle. Now Gilchrist will tip it in. And DeVries on his horse to get it. Near corner for John Clem. Clem up the wing. Lemieux trying to clear it out. Now Clem again, up the middle. Great pass by Forsberg. Here's Kamensky one-on-one. Lost it. Oh, Lemieux nearly fouled up. And the Red Wings shovel it back to center. Now Lefebvre hands it right to the Red Wing player. Oh, Samuelson, dangerously near his own goal. The boards and work by Forsberg by Clark. But Forsberg gets it back. And late on a shift, he'll send it in. And the Avs make a change.
Small thing, very important. The Avs shifts, line changes in this first period have been sharp, crisp, and they have not got caught out of position.
Here's Fedorov. And his shot is blocked by Waugh. And the net comes free as Lefebvre looked back and he saw a train in Fedorov coming right around him. But both Lefebvre and Waugh kept it out. And another whistle.
Game 2, Colorado. This line that Scotty Bowman put on the ice, Shanahan, Fedorov, Yzerman, got the first goal of the game, scored by Yzerman. That line is so explosive. It's like putting Fleury out there with Forsberg and Sakic. There's so much offensive talent. Joe, just one more thought about all those shots. Now, that doesn't necessarily hurt the Avalanche because they don't mind getting into those high-scoring games. They have so much offense.
36 seconds to go in the period. Yzerman got the face-off back, but Podine stepped into the hole, and he tips it down the ice. And Ranford out of the goal. Puts it on the boards. Murphy is there, trying to work it out. He's behind the net. The Avalanche have been outshot 11-6 in this period. They haven't had a shot in a long time, maybe 8 or 9 minutes. Deadmarsh knocks it down. Now for Sakic, 2-on-2 into the zone. Sakic lets it go. That was wide. Ranford back to the goal. Nearly got caught back there. And the puck off the boards, but not out. Now brought to center by Fedorov. 3 seconds left here. Can't get a shot, and that's going to do it. And a very
Adam Foote. The Avalanche starting with Lefebvre and Miller. Adam Foote not on the bench right now for the Avalanche. Hopefully just going to be a couple of more minutes with the doctor/dentist.
If you weren't with us earlier, he was cut above the lip and appeared to need some repairs as the Avalanche cleared over the glass and out of play. Time to check the air touch first period numbers.
Very even period. Yzerman, interesting, John, you pointed it out between periods. The fact that Yzerman was 8-2 on faceoffs, but one of those draws that he lost led directly to the Avalanche goal.
Fedorov led all players with 4 shots on goal. Lemieux led the Avalanche with 2. And Foote, despite missing a couple of shifts with that cut lip, he played close to 10 minutes for the Avalanche. Here's a face-off, one back on the point, but Murphy can't get a shot, and Hayduk did a good defensive job on him. And Nicholas Lidstrom back behind his own goal. And the puck turned to center by the Red Wings. Now Ozelinch ahead for Fleury, and Foote is returning to the Avs bench. That's good news. And thanks to the quick hands of the Avalanche doctor getting him stitched up. Murphy trying to move it out. Now Lidstrom up the middle for Fedorov. And broken up at the Avs line by Ozelinch. He'll tip one on to Fleury. Trying to shoot it in. Forsberg races in after it. Forsberg against Brown, and Brown beat him to the puck. And now behind the goal for Murphy. Here's Fedorov again. Pass to center. And swept into the zone by a diving Brown, but the Avalanche turn it back to center. Now Fedorov again. And poked in wide of Waugh, who wants to play it, and he does. Up the wing now for Forsberg. And here come the Avalanche. Forsberg a pass. And that's knocked down by Yzerman. Hooked a bit by Kamensky, and they call it. And a high-sticking minor.
That's one of those ones that you certainly can't blame the referee for calling, but it looks worse than it is because the stick rode right up into the jersey of Yzerman. Pretty hard not to call something on that one. But the Avalanche, they take their second penalty of this hockey game. Kamensky, it's another strong first period. 4 periods of hockey now for Kamensky since returning from that arm injury.
Well, for Bob Hartley, he knows that his club has to take away Yzerman on this power play. A couple of times in this series, come out of the corner on his forehand and put it top corner.
Top corner, blocker side on Patrick Waugh.
Sakic gets the face-off from Yzerman. And Adam Foote, he jams it up the far boards and down the ice. Again, Chelios and Lidstrom back on the points. Up front, Yzerman, Shanahan, and Holmstrom. Yzerman leads the club with 4 power play goals in the NHL. And put it in the corner now. Yzerman trying to walk in front. Sakic there. Can't clear it. Here's Lefebvre, and he'll get the puck to center ice. 30 gone in the Red Wings power play. Now Lidstrom. Rink-wide pass. Picked off, and here comes Forsberg. Hits the Red Wing line with Sakic, and he'll dump it in. A floater is caught by Ranford, and he holds it long enough. And that's a break for the Avalanche.
Ranford tried to just play off Forsberg, dump it in behind the net.
earlier on our Ford trivia question, we asked you which position goalies, defensive forwards has produced the most Conn Smythe Trophy winners for playoff MVP. And if you guess forwards, you're right.
You know, you would almost think it would be goalies, because it always seems to be the goaltenders that are the ones that seemingly win or lose Stanley Cups. Claude Lemieux won his 95, his Conn Smythe playoff MVP with the New Jersey Devils.
That year the Devils won 10 road games. The Avalanche, as you know, are 4-0 on the road in '99, looking for their 5th in a row. Here come the Red Wings on the power play. Yzerman to the corner, wrist shot, tried to go top side and missed the net. Now Yzerman in the corner for Kozlov. Gets it back to the goal again. Now Shanahan plays it back to the corner. Miller steps up for the Avs. On for Forsberg. And he'll work it back to center. 50 left in the power play. And Ranford gloves it down for Chelios. And the Avs get some fresh troops out there.
They're poised right now, the Avalanche. They're not running around, making very simple, smart plays.
And the Red Wings are offside.
Now here's one of those things, John, you figure it out. You look at the numbers for the Avalanche. They're 1-4. They won game 5 at home against San Jose. They're a perfect 4-0 on the road. Coming into tonight, they now have 14 goals on the road, only 7 against, as opposed to 13 goals at home and 20 against in 5 home games.
And we've asked the players, the coaches, the trainers. Nobody knows why. About the simplest explanation, play a simpler game on the road. Here's Adam Foote. Now 25 to go in the minor to Kamensky. The Red Wings down by 1. Out to center. Lapointe, he passed it back, and it ends up in the Red Wing zone now for Doug Brown. And the ex-Devil Brown works it on to Murphy, and he'll shovel it in. Patrick looks to play it here. He puts it up on the glass by Fedorov, and Podine will dump it down the ice. And here's a race for it. Podine and Forsberg. Forsberg gets there first. Makes a good move in front. And it never got to Podine, or he would have had a great chance. And Kamensky is back, so the Red Wings now 0 for 2. And Kamensky weaves into the zone for Ozolinsh. And he missed the pass. Now Fedorov in the corner. Pounded by Kamensky. Reichel back of the goal. Trying to work Brown over. As 3 Avalanche players huddle behind that goal. Kamensky gets it in front, and no one is home, and the Red Wings poke it back to center. And Aaron Miller to Ozolinsh. Dale Hunter up the middle. He's got a break. Hunter in the clear. Big save by Ranford on Dale Hunter. And the Red Wings turn and ice it.
Well, the Avalanche haven't had too many chances here in this second period, but back-to-back good shifts. And Hunter, who had a big goal in game 3, can't quite get it by Ranford. He was going 5-hole.
Event you've been waiting for is here. The biggest selection of award-winning minivans, from the lowest priced to the ultimate. Now for a limited time during the National Chrysler Plymouth Spring Sales Drive. Get big $1,000 cash allowances, or our lowest APR 1.9, or our lowest lease rates on every award-winning minivan. The National Chrysler Plymouth Spring Sales Drive, for a limited time only. See your Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Cities don't get any bigger than this. I'm proud to be a native New Yorker. It's a fabulous city. We've got the biggest buildings.
Ever wonder why New Yorkers have such big mouths? Because we eat big pizza, like the big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. 16 inches of real New York pizza dripping with cheese at a very un-New York price.
$9.99. Honey, you should never give it away.
The big New Yorker, new from Pizza Hut. It's beautiful.
In tonight's Pizza Hut flashback, we go back to game 3. On Tuesday, Chris Drury's first ever playoff goal. It was a huge one. And the Avs won the game 5-3. Lead this one 1-0. On another goal by Drury at 1:28 of the first period, assisted by Ozolinsh and Deadmarsh. Now the Red Wings, Darren McCarty puts it in front. Clem knocked it away. Now Kurt Maltby gets it for Detroit. The hero of game 1. Played by Reichel, not out. And then Reichel took a shot, and I think a penalty called on McCarty.
McCarty, who's been the most physical of the Red Wings here in Game 4, is in behind the net with Reichel. As the two tough lines for these teams get together in a real hard shift. Puck goes in behind now. Well, threw the elbow up on Warren Reichel. Reichel will gladly skate to the bench, say Jim. No harm there, but a foul. And McCarty is in the penalty box.
Reichel's hometown is right across the Detroit River in Windsor, Ontario. Had a birthday a couple of days ago and draws a penalty. The Avalanche 0 for 1 tonight and 2 of 17 in the series. And would love a goal here to take a 2-0 lead. Ozolinsh and Lemieux, the point men. Up front, Fleury, Sakic, and Denmark. Now Fleury out to the red line. Into the Red Wing zone now. Fleury curls to make a play. Here's Fleury, fakes it. Still has it. And leaves it for Sakic. Back to Lemieux. Slap shot is wide. Ozolinsh rebound. Oh, saved by Ranford. His best of the game on Ozolinsh. Now Ozolinsh again. Leaves it for Denmark near the point. To the corner for Fleury. Now behind the goal, Sakic. Cycles one back to Fleury. On the point is Ozolinsh. And he'll push it back to the goal again. Now Sakic. Back on the point again to Lemieux. Slap shot is up high and off the glass. Here's Ozolinsh again. On the boards to Fleury. Right point, Lemieux. He missed it, but keeps it in. A minute gone on the power play. Sakic back to the goal. Can't center it. The Red Wings working around the boards, but not out of the zone. Ozolinsh has it again. He walks in. His pass to the slot. Denmark can't get it. And the puck in the corner now. Lidstrom for Chelios. And he'll feed it to center. And down the ice. So the Avalanche, a couple of good chances on this power play.
Both power plays. The Avalanche not scored, but they've had good movement away from the puck.
Here's Lemieux now for Forsberg. Up front with Kamensky and Hejduk. The puck to the corner. Samuelson's lost his stick. See if the Avs can capitalize. Now Kamensky gets it. Here's Forsberg in the corner. Samuelson still no stick. Now he gets it back. And the Red Wings get the puck. And Fedorov clears the center. Here's Murphy. Shorthand, and Murphy winds up. Slap shot, and that was blocked at the Avs defense. And now Ozolinsh off the boards, and here's Forsberg in a race. Gets it by the Red Wing player, Ward. Forsberg back to the goal. Trying to roll it in front. He does the force shot, and he missed the goal. Oh, what a chance there. And now Murphy for Detroit. Red Wings back at full strength. And Drury makes a good play, and the Avalanche come to center. Here's Drury. He's got the only goal. Rush shot, and Ranford glove save. And no further action.
Very generous line shift by Detroit. Might get forward, but what a nice save by Ranford. Ranford made a nice save on Ozolinsh and then on foot on that last power play.
And Avs GM Pierre Lacroix with some body motion trying to get that puck in there.
Kick that baby in.
Just under 13 minutes to play in period 2. The Avalanche with a 1-0 lead. If they win, the series tied at 2 at Game 5 Sunday in Denver. Here's Draper on the faceoff against Denmark. Denmark wins another one. Back to John Clem. Big rebound in front. They score! The Avalanche got to it first, and they have scored to make it 2-0. I think Denmark tipped it in.
Absolutely, Denmark, and again, this line for the Avalanche, the so-called third line. And John, this is where Kamensky's return has been so huge for the Avalanche. You drop Denmark, who is a great hockey player, onto the third line with Podine and Drury, and suddenly there's such balance through your first 3 lines. John, it was off the face-off. The Avalanche scored their first goal by Drury. It's off the face-off again Deadmarsh, so good on those draws, but both times Drury's come through and helped on the draw. Ranford, no chance. The puck just takes a funny bounce. And the Avalanche get that next goal. And this place is quiet, and the Avalanche are in control.
And 2 goals that, if they weren't scored at different ends, you would have sworn were instant replays. A face-off win by Deadmarsh, a shot, a rebound, and a goal.
And the key is on the draw. Deadmarsh ties up his man, but the Avalanche player, and it's been both times it's been Drury, is the first man in. He gets it back to the point. And suddenly, the puck is on net. Deadmarsh is there for the rebound.
Deadmarsh gets it at 7:07. Now a backhander by the point. And a good save by Waugh. Penalty coming up here on the Avalanche. And Odgers gets it out, but a call from behind the net. I think some action in front of the goal brought the attention to Richard Trottier.
This looks to be one of those unbelievable bad breaks for Colorado. DeVries just goes to clear the puck, and it looks like a stick broke in half. The puck was just going back to DeVries. DeVries looked like he had it in control, went to move it out of the zone, and his stick just snapped. Now watch, look at DeVries. Right there, his stick just breaks in half. I wonder if they're saying, yes, that could be the call, that he played with a broken stick, which you can't do. You saw it right there, he did that. If that's the call, it's a good call.
And the Red Wings, down by 2, get their 3rd power play of the night. They're 0 for 2. And now 5 of 23 in the series. In the playoffs, over 27%. But again, the Avalanche win the faceoff and clear it down the ice. Here are the Red Wings now. Lidstrom down the far boards. Pass back for Shanahan, but Sakic is there. Intercepts, and Sean Podine will angle it off the far boards and down the ice.
So far in this game, there hasn't been a power play goal, but the Avalanche's power plays have been better than Detroit's as far as getting some scoring chances.
Alapave trying to clear it. Eiserman cuts it off in the corner. Pushed to the corner by foot. Now pass it for Holmstrom, and he tipped it wide. And Forsberg for the Avalanche to Lemieux, and he'll clear it away. 50 gone in the power play. The Avs leading 2-0. Here's Lefebvre back for Colorado, and he falls on it. Get a face-off.
And you watch, this is something the Avalanche have done well in tonight's game. They have supported each other. Great example, an obvious example will be on the face-offs where Drury, now the puck goes in, and there's Drury and Podine. Both beat their man to the puck. Sets up the eventual goal by Colorado.
Drury and Clem should get the assist, although they initially said Forsberg, but he wasn't on the ice.
That 4 looks like a 1.
And the time of the goal, 7:07.
So for Adam Deadmarsh, who was the Avalanche's best player in the 2 home games, had a goal and assist in game 1. He has a goal and assist here in game 4.
Now a minute 4 to go in DeVries minor. Red Wings win this faceoff back on the point to Murphy on the boards for Kozlov. Now Fedorov in the corner. Here's Kozlov again. Here's Fedorov trying to walk in front. He does! And Waugh got the legs apart and fell on the puck. And a faceoff.
Eiserman is a right-handed shot. Fedorov is a left-handed shot. They both explode out of the corner. Eiserman likes to come from Patrick Waugh's right. Fedorov from Patrick Waugh's left. Leaves them on the forehand. They've got that great first stride. Now Fedorov is going to have the puck in the corner. Clark's going to try and screen, and now he's going to bounce out of the corner and try to get Patrick Waugh to drop and go over top. But a good job again. Man, is Deadmarsh having a good game. He's the guy that came down and took that play away from Fedorov. Watch Deadmarsh come in right there, so Fedorov can't walk out.
And the Avs. Sakic gets the face-off, and Lefebvre will gun it down the ice. Now 45 to go in the Red Wings power play. 11:15 to go, second period. Wings to center. Fedorov trying to dipsy doodle into the zone. He can't. And now Wendell Clark hammers it in. Wong missed it back to the goal. Fedorov there. Sergei Fedorov, only one goal in the playoffs. Back to Lidstrom. Right point to Murphy. To Lidstrom. Fakes it now, lets it go. And that was blocked by Foot. And Sakic is there to drill it down the ice.
Adam Foot is just paying the price tonight. He is blocking shots, taking them in the kisser.
And the Red Wings get it back on the line again. Lidstrom walks in. Top shot. And a big save again by Waugh. And the Avs clear it out.
Lefebvre scooped that thing from in front of the net with his hand out of the zone.
And DeVries is back. Now Forsberg for the Avalanche. And he's run down behind the goal, but the Red Wings work it up the middle. And Wendell Clark into the zone. The drive right on by Holmstrom, and Waugh cleared it away. Detroit is now 0 for 3 in the power play. And the Avs maintain their 2-0 lead. And Miller shoots it down the ice. And a foot race here. Samuelsson will beat Kamensky to it, and icing called.
You know, there's so much, you try to talk about making the smart play, the right play, doing the little things that it takes to, you know, make a good hockey play. Other times, you just scramble. You just do what you got to do. Puck comes through and Lefebvre grabs it, just scoops it out of the zone. But I'll tell you, you have any time to get pretty in front of the net. Offense or on defense, you're just, it's a war zone down there. You're just battling away. And you do what you have to do to get that puck out of the zone or into the net.
Edmarsh now with 5 goals in the playoffs, tied for the club lead with Theo Fleury. Again, that last goal at 7:07, and the Avs lead 2-0. And the shots 14-11, favoring Detroit. But the Avs have played much better defensively here in Game 4. Red Wings get the draw. Here's Gilchrist in front, backhander. And that's over the goal. Holmstrom let it go, and now Fleury on to Sakic with Hayduk. To Hayduk. Into Sakic in the clear drive. He put that one over the net. Man, was that some speed. Now Sakic back to the goal. Down in the corner. Fleury tips one to the near side. Hayduk there. He battles against Chelios. Now Sakic trying to get it free. And he does. In front to Hayduk. What a pass. Lost it. Rebound. And Miller is stopped by Ranford. As the Avalanche nearly scored again.
Oh, if Hayduk had only been able to keep control. He made a great move. He was going to go fake inside towards the short side post and then bring it to his forehand far side. And the puck just slipped off his stick. But this line for the Avalanche is so quick. So tough to contain him. Hayduk just couldn't quite find the handle. This would be a good angle. Now watch Hayduk. Go short side. He's trying to bring him. He had him. He had him. If he keeps it, he's going to slip it on the ice, the far side.
He had a wide open net. So a break for the Red Wings. And it's still 2-0 Colorado.
This is the kind of game, John, that I expected. We're halfway through, 9:33 remaining in this game. And you look at the shots on goal, 14 Detroit, only 12 for the Avalanche.
Peter Edmarsh on another offensive zone faceoff. This one against Yzerman. His draws have won to led to both Avalanche goals. He gets another one. Back on the point for Adam Foot. The drive! And that trickles wide. Now Podine in the corner. Leaves it back to the goal for Chris Drury. Here's Drury battling against Murphy. He comes up with it now for Edmarsh. Cycles one back to the corner. And now Yzerman for Lidstrom. Someone's broken his stick out there. And the puck kicked up the middle, not out. Now it is the center. And Lefebvre gets it for the Avalanche. Shots on goal this period, 6-3 for the Avalanche.
3 for Detroit in this period.
And they had a power play. And the Red Wings chip it in. McCarty drops it off. A long shot knocked down in front by Foot. And here's Kamensky. Works the puck ahead for Lemieux. And out to center now for Forsberg. With Foot. Forsberg beats a man at the line. Chelios got back, and then Forsberg got the stick up.
be Forsberg who's going to go off. Just along the boards, pulls Don Chelios. Detroit starting Johnny had to think.
List members will be offered available locations. For more information, call 575-1900.
One player for the Avalanche logging a lot of time here in this second period. Number 2, Sylvain Lefebvre.
Forsberg off for hooking at 11:24. The Red Wings in the power play for the 4th time. Avalanche lead 2-0. Here come the Wings again. Lidstrom. He rips it in from center. Watt kicks it back to the goal for Lefebvre. But right to Wendell Clark. Clark back on the line for Chelios. Trying to draw a man to him. Now for Lidstrom. On the wing for Yzerman. He works in. Takes the shot, and that was off foot. Into the corner. Now played behind the goal, but put is there, and he'll rip it around the boards. But not by Yzerman. Now Shanahan gets it. Right point for Chelios. And he'll push one back to the goal again. Clark is there with 45 gone to the power play. Now Shanahan in front. Oh, what a glove save there on the short side by Waugh.
Brendan Shanahan. When Detroit lost to the Avalanche a couple of years ago, now 3 years ago, in the semifinals, the one thing that they felt was they just weren't big enough. Brendan Shanahan was with the Hartford Whalers. They went out, they got Shanahan. Shanahan had a huge year the first year he came over from Hartford. Didn't have as good a year last year. But bounced back pretty well this year. But he really, a lot of people say he's been the catalyst. One of the real main reasons why Detroit went from being a team that you could maybe push around to a real solid, now 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
He had 31 goals in this regular season, 5 game winners. Tops on the club. Chelios on the point. Now for Lidstrom. Shot, that was off a leg. Ends up in behind the goal. Miller battles against Holmstrom. The puck is a referee. Denmark's trying to clear it. And the puck again in that corner. Miller against Holmstrom. The puck free for Denmark. And he'll go up the middle and down the ice.
Aaron Miller and Denmark, they battle down low.
40 to go in the power play. And the Red Wings are guilty of a 2-line offside pass. Well, he's won over 900 NBA games and NCAA championship. And he has seen his 76ers in the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. So how come anyone asks, Larry Brown is, when are you leaving, coach? Chris Myers goes one-on-one with Larry Brown on this week's Going Deep, Sunday at 9 Mountain, 10 Central on Fox Sports Net Rocky Mountain.
With Yell out of the lineup still for the Colorado Avalanche, I'm not sure when he'll return. Sakic and Podine have been paired together up front, killing some penalties. Great speed for those two guys, just like Yell and Podine gave the Avalanche a real quick penalty-killing group.
Always a threat to score a short-handed goal. 30 to go in Forsberg's minor. And Brown drops the puck in from the blue line. Shanahan gets there first now for McCarty. Trying to work it down low. He does to Shanahan in front, and Waugh gloves it. And again hangs on for the faceoff.
Patrick Waugh knows that Detroit Red Wings, especially a guy like Shanahan, who's a smart guy, is going to maybe try to bank the puck off. You see it right there. Patrick Waugh took everything away. A lot of goaltenders will, one, lead the left leg a little farther out, or two, lead the right pad a little bit off the post. Shanahan just tried to be a little cute in behind the net.
Now 17 to go in the Red Wings power play. Under 7 to play, second period. The Avalanche with a 2-0 lead. Yzerman gets the face-off from Sakic. Now back on the point. Lidstrom, here's Shanahan again. Fires it! Big save by Waugh! And the rebound cleared, but not out. Another shot. That didn't get through. And Sakic on it for Colorado. And now to center for Podine. Podine down the board. Forsberg is back. Here's Podine getting turned around. Forsberg intercepts. He walks in. Forsberg tripped up in there by Murphy, and they call the penalty. He was knocked down out of the box. No one saw him, and now the Avalanche will get a power play.
Forsberg was hoping that either Lemieux and Podine were going to come out of the corner. But it starts at the other end. Patrick Waugh, who did not see that shot. But the Avalanche had 4 guys right there to pick up the rebound. There's the end of the play. Credit Podine. Podine didn't just dump the puck in. He carried the puck in. He forced 2 guys on him, and all of a sudden there was a bad pass. Detroit has to scramble, and now we have a huge moment in this game for the Avalanche.
Their third power play. Murphy off for tripping, and the Red Wings get the puck to center. Here's Draper, lets it go, and a good save by Waugh with the left pad. And Ozolinsh now beats Lemieux, and he'll rip it in from center. Samuelsson gets it behind his own goal. He's chased from behind. Forsberg back on the line to Lemieux. Lemieux lets it fly. That was wide. Now Forsberg in the corner. Forsberg into the corner in front. To Hayduk, a shot. He scores! Alon Hayduk, and the Avalanche get a power play goal and lead 3-0.
Well, the rookies for the Avalanche have come out big time here in tonight's game. Drury gets goal 1. Hayduk gets goal 3. Drury assists on goal 2. Alon Hayduk, who was the hero for the Avalanche in the first series with 2 overtime winners against San Jose, both in San Jose, games 2, and the series clincher in overtime in game 6. And Forsberg, just his patience with the puck. You can walk, smack, you can do anything you want, it seems, to Peter Forsberg, but when he's focused, you're not going to get him off the puck. And it just slips through the legs. Michel Goulet on the left, who scored an awful lot of goals, and Pierre Lacroix on the right. Team pull ahead, 3-0, and another goaltending change, John. I was wondering.
Well, the Avalanche have scored 3 goals on 13 shots. And Ranford, who allowed 5 goals on 24 shots the other night, is yanked for the 2nd straight game. And now, make no mistake about it, the Red Wings have problems in goal.
There's a goaltending controversy going on right now. Ranford just walked down the runway, broke his stick. Because now what do you do? Can you come back with Ranford again? I mean, do you go with the rookie miracle? Or is Osgood forced, not healthy, or is he healthy, into game 5? Now remember, game 5 is 3 days away on Sunday. But John, all that aside, scores 3-0 for the Avalanche right now. Still a ton of time to go in this hockey game.
Hayduk gets the goal from Forsberg and Lemieux on the power play at 14:04. There's Red Wings GM Ken Hallett. And he is as stunned as everybody else here at Joe Louis Arena. Except the Avalanche. And the Red Wings tip it in. Waugh out of the goal for Miller. He puts it up the far side, not out of the zone. Long wrister goes to the corner. And then here's Miller again. Now gets some help from Denmark. Samuelsson held it in. Now Brown in behind the goal. Brown trying to work in front. He does. Backhander and a save by Waugh. And Ozolinsh with some time, and he'll work it down the near boards. Drury in a foot race against Samuelsson, and the veteran got there first. An icing called against the Avalanche.
Well, Fedorov ran into one of the Avalanche players, and I don't know what he hurt. It looked like initially he got a stick in the guts. Here's the play right here. Puck comes across. No, that was, I could not see unless it was something from behind on Fedorov.
Hard to say whether it's his hand, his arm, his stomach.
He obviously could not afford to lose Fedorov. They've already lost the center iceman Larionov.
Sakic, the Avalanche leading 3-0. Here comes Fleury in for Sakic. Now to Fleury, quick shot, and Miracle makes the save, and it goes out of play. So for the 5-6025 for more information.
Bob Hartley's talking to his hockey club. A smart 5 minutes probably means 2 or 3 shifts each for the forwards, 4 or 5 for the defensemen. All the right thing. Don't take a penalty. Let's go in with that 3-goal lead.
side, now to center for Holmstrom. He left it, and Hunter for the Avalanche was there to chip it away. Now John Clem back for Colorado. And Clem works it back to his own goal for DeVries. He goes high with it, and out of play.
The one thing about the ice here in Detroit, it gets very snowy at the end of periods. So it's hard to ice the puck. When you're down 3-0, when you're up 3-0 like the Avalanche are, that works in your favor because a few of the plays that might be icings are not going to make it all the way down the ice. So the Avalanche were going cross corner, using the fact that the ice is slowing down here late in this period.
Peter, if you think the fans are stunned tonight, how about the other night before the game? Now remember, the Red Wings were up 2-0 on the series and had won all 6 playoff games. You had people with brooms in the stand. You had sports reporters doing their stand-ups with little brooms. There was talk in the papers the Red Wings might go 16-0. I think they got carried away.
The Sweet 16 they were called, the 16 straight wins. But every club that wins the Stanley Cup always faces adversity. And you have to think the winner of this series is going to be the favorite as they go into the semifinals.
Behind the goal, now near corner for Lefebvre. 4 minutes to go, second period. And pushed to center by Samuelson. Back to the Avs line where Foote gets it. He puts it on the boards. Now Forsberg knocks a man down. And here's Lefebvre. Peter, I can't recall the Red Wings having an odd man rush in this game.
It's been a brilliantly played game defensively for the Avalanche. They learned. Maybe they learned a lot from that third period about doing the little things so that Patrick Roy is not facing just shot after shot when he should not have in third period.
There's Deadmarsh in the corner, bumps Chelios. Now Chelios gets it again and goes up the middle and right on the stick of Miller for Ozolinsh. He'll flip one to center. Man ahead of Fleury. And that's Sakic. He's in the clear. Left it, a shot. Rebound to Fleury. Oh, and a save. Now in front again. And Sakic can't get it. What a save by Miracle. Now Fedorov into the zone to Clark. The drive. And a save by Waugh. And he may have taken that one on the mask. What a shot by Clark. Here are the Red Wings again. In front for Clark and behind him. Murphy a shot. Tipped in front of Ozolinsh. Broke it up and here he comes to center. Now for Sakic with Fleury. Sakic right in. Miracle made the save. It got behind him. And he covered up.
Well, this is the kind of game that Detroit has got to get into. The Avalanche, again, the things you learn from, don't sit back. Take what Detroit gives you. The defensemen are going to be pitching in. They're going to be crashing in the net. They'll be taking shots from everywhere. They look at the first one, and I thought this one was in, with Fleury coming in. And Miracle just comes across. And here's Sakic. How many times have we seen that? The look, the poise, the gunner, and Miracle again just gets the top of his stick on it, enough to slow it down.
2.5 to go, second period. The Avalanche lead 3-0 goals from Drury, Deadmarsh, and Haydu. And the shots now 20-17 for the Red Wings. The Avalanche have, by a large margin, had the better scoring chances. Now Murphy at his own line. They'll flip it in there. John Clem trying to clear it. And the Avs do poke it back to center. Kirk Maltby gets it. And drives it in behind the goal. Waugh. They put it up the glass. For Kamensky with Forsberg. And Forsberg just scoops it. And here come the Avs again. Lemieux now to John Clem. Looks for a wrister. He takes it and puts it wide of Miracle. And Darren McCarty, his pass picked up by Drury. And he'll send it in deep. Miracle to the corner. Haydu there for the Avalanche, but Draper gets it behind his own goal. 90 seconds to go in the period. And the Red Wings take an icing call here.
Starting to get a little ugly here in Detroit. They have not lost 2 straight since they lost a couple of games last year to Phoenix, games 2 and games 3. Last one goes all the way back when the Avalanche won games 1 and 2 in the semifinal series against these Red Wings on their way to a 4-2 series victory before they swept the Florida Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. Well, yeah, there's no question that Detroit came in here after game 2, John. That was, Scotty Bowman said it, that our club can't play much better than that. They were perfect in every category. Goaltending was solid, penalty killing, power play. They turned away. They did so many things right, but the Avalanche have found a way to fight back in this series.
He was right, and this is the Avalanche's best game thus far in the playoffs. 1:15 to go in the period, but we're a long way from the final buzzer. Aaron Miller, good pass up the middle for Deadmarsh, now on for Hayuk. Hits the Red Wing line. Trying to beat Candida. 1 minute to go here in the second. And the Red Wings the point. Trying to flip it out to center. He does for Holmstrom, now into the zone. Here comes the point. He walks in. A shot, and that was wide. And the puck back to the goal now in front. Miller is right there for the Avs. And back they come. And Deadmarsh takes no chances and clears it in. And he goes off on a line change. 35 to go in the period. Now Shanahan brought in by Kozlov, but Chelios was in offside on left wing. Well, if the Avalanche win this one, we know the Avs are coming back, and we'll have it for you next Tuesday at 5:30 Mountain Time. Game 6 can be seen on PAX Channel 59, Cable 17.
We certainly don't want to get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot of hockey left in this game. And these are the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Detroit Red Wings, but the Avalanche are playing smart, solid hockey right now.
Now 25 to go in the period. Here's Adam Foote behind his own goal for Lefebvre. Up the boards to Podine. He turns and gets it out now to Sakic, on for Fleury. In with Sakic. Fleury waits, now takes a shot that was blocked at the defense, and the Red Wings head the other way. Here's Chelios. Long bouncer goes wide of Waugh. And again he puts it up on the glass. Now Shanahan in the corner. Trying to center, and the horn goes to end the second period. Maybe the Avs' best in the playoffs.
Certainly been their best 40 minutes of hockey in this series. And you're right, John, probably in the playoffs as they chase Brantford again. They come up with goal by Deadmarsh, that line.
This jersey will do the same thing.
That's what we want to happen, Drew. We want to thank Coors and Jackson's here in Lodo. It's been fun, and hopefully the Avs can pull it out with the last 20 minutes. Let's get it back to you in Detroit, Drew.
Fast from when the Red Wings came onto the ice for the third period. No energy at all in this building.
It has been sucked right out of this place. And for the Colorado Avalanche, what they really want to do right now is play smart early. No penalties. And all the obvious things that you want to do, because you know Detroit is going to keep coming.
There's Sakic for the Avalanche, on with Fleury to Hayuk. Sakic to the corner. Chased by Chelios. Trying to work off the boards. Now for Milan. Hayuk gets a pick. Fires one just wide of Norm Miracle. What a play by Hayuk. Man, has he been impressive. Not only in the playoffs, all year. And Lidstrom gets it for Detroit.
But the Detroit defensemen are going to be jumping up into the play this whole period.
Here's Forsberg. Knocks it down at center. So what you're saying is the Avalanche should get some odd man rushes here in period 3.
If they're smart, they make good crisp plays and don't sit back too much.
Now remember, in game 3, the Avalanche entered the third with a 3-goal lead and sat back. Here's Lemieux, but I think they learned their lesson. We'll find out. Here's Kamensky, and he'll send a bouncer down the ice.
Well, Ozolin's learned his lesson. He was jumping up. He was a lead man on that rush.
Now McCarty down the far boards. Wrist shot blocked by DeVries. And the puck played to center by Podine. And Murphy gets it for Detroit.
One bit of good news for Detroit. Fedorov is back on the ice. He was injured, it looked like, late in that second period.
Now Clark into the zone. Slap shot, and that was blocked by Clem. It comes right in front, but right onto the tape of Sean Podine. And he'll lob one to the Red Wing line. Now Samuelson for Detroit. Far side for Candino. Nearly 2 minutes gone in the third period. And that play is offside. This marks only the second time in the playoffs that the Red Wings have entered the third down by at least one.
I was watching to see what Bob Hartley was going to do, John, and it looks like, and this is one of those things that's great for team chemistry. Not just going with the 3 lines. He's going with the Avalanche's full offensive group, all 4 lines. He has just rolled them over the first shifts of this 3rd period.
Adam Foote has led the Avalanche so far in ice time with 20 minutes, but nobody else is close. Up front, Sakic has played less than 17, so Bob's done a great job of getting everybody in. And he knows in the playoffs you can't wear down your team.
You especially don't want to wear them down when you have a lead and your team is playing well. There's nobody for the Avalanche that isn't doing the right thing at the right time. And for Detroit, what they need is a guy like Fedorov, a guy like Yzerman, Shanahan, Lidstrom. Somebody's got to ignite this team. Someone's got to get them going and get this crowd going and get the Detroit Red Wings playing with some confidence.
You know, the Red Wings, prior to giving up 5 goals in Game 3, had not allowed over 3 goals since their 70th game of the regular season, which was 18 games ago. And now they've allowed 3 more tonight. And the puck is chipped by Chelios, and now back for Lidstrom. For Chris Chelios, the former captain of the Blackhawks. Finds Holmstrom open down the far boards. Now a pass back, but Fleury was right there for the Avalanche. And he wanders to center. Now for Hayduk into Sakic. And he was checked from behind by Shanahan. Now Lidstrom gets it again.
Bowman going for offense. Chelios and Lidstrom paired together here in the 3rd period.
Here's Yzerman. He cuts in a wrist shot. Hit a leg. And went wide in the Avs. Tip it back to center. Here's Lidstrom again. Colorado making a change on the go. Lidstrom from the blue line. Fires it in. A good save by Waugh. And Lefebvre turns in the corner and gets it on the glass and down the ice. Murphy across for Lidstrom. Up the middle. Off the Red Wing player. Now to Lemieux. And he makes a good move at center. Here's Lemieux into the zone. Now to Forsberg. And the drive is right on goal as Forsberg stuck in on left wing. And met you by Original Coors. Game 6, if the Avs hang on, will be Tuesday here in Detroit. Can be seen on PAX TV channel 59, cable 17, beginning at 5:30 Mountain. Of course, Game 5 is Sunday in Denver at noon. Here's Aaron Miller, a long shot, and Miracle eats that up. Up the boards for Kozlov. Now chipped on for Ward, trying to clear it. He does, but Lemieux will send it back in offside.
Now, I'm not really sure what it means, because for the Avalanche, they were up 5-1 when Miracle came in Game 1. They were up 3-0 when Miracle came in Game 2. But he has made 17 consecutive saves over last game and this game. 12 last game, another 5 in this one, 17 total. So, you know, John, you have to wonder. I mean, if Osgood is not ready, does Miracle, because what's going to happen is Detroit comes back and wins this. I mean, then you have to start. If that's going to happen.
And the rookie Miracle had good numbers during the regular season in 16 games, a record of 6-5-2, an average of 2.27. Although his last game in the regular season was on March 17th. So he's come in ice cold and done a real good job.
One thing about him, I mean, just from watching him in morning skate and practice and here in the game, very cool guy. I mean, nothing seems to really faze him. It's a little bit different coming in cold in a situation and facing a Game 5 in Colorado.
And that will be the million-dollar question in Detroit if the Red Wings lose this game. Here's Sakic knocking the puck out, 2-on-1 to Fleury. Over to Fleury, and a great play by Samuelson. Had he not blocked it, Fleury would have had a wide-open net. This line of Fleury, Sakic, and Hayduk has been tremendous for the Avalanche.
They have the one goal. That was by Hayduk, but they had even strength have had a good game.
And no run to the boards by Lefebvre. Now the wings, Kozlov carries on, leaves it in the corner for Fedorov. He'll cycle one back for Kozlov in front now, and pushed to the corner by Samuelson. Here's Dandino in behind the goal. He's got tons of time back there. Fedorov's parked in front. He saw it all the way.
Just as we talked about, Daniel, the defenseman down low. Samuelson, his defensive partner, was a player that carried the puck into the zone. Again, Patrick Waugh seeing the puck well. Just looking and watching, John, you know, somebody we're not seeing an awful lot of in this last part of the game, Larry Murphy. Number 55, who has been such a big part of the Cup wins for Detroit the last 2 years since coming over from Detroit. I don't believe that I have seen him here in this third period. There he is right there, the veteran.
Well, Murphy, 38 years old. I was going to say maybe they're resting him a bit for the next game, but I find that hard to believe. They're only down by 3.
Down by 3. They're going with Dandro and Samuelson as the second defensive pair out there after Lidstrom and Chelios.
Now the Red Wings eyes him off the face-off in the corner for Shanahan. Back on the point again. Here's Lidstrom. Fires it right on goal. And a blocker save by Waugh. And chipped to center by Dale Hunter. And Reichel doesn't get it deep. Lidstrom again down the far wall. Now for Clark. And Lefebvre gets back to the Avs around the boards. Chelios cuts it off. He fires it in. A good glove save again by Waugh. And again, he saw that shot from the right point. Well, tonight, don't miss Fox Sports News primetime for your chance to win a trip to watch baseball's best in Boston. Watch Fox Sports News weeknights for the clue. Then log on to foxsports.com to enter. We're having a ball sweepstakes is brought to you by 10-10-220 and Valvoline.
The thing about Detroit, you know, don't consider them out of this game. We're watching here. I mean, it's kind of stunning to be sitting here watching this game and see the Avalanche control the neutral zone, control themselves, and control this hockey game. Detroit, 2-time Stanley Cup champions, just has not had a lot of jump here in this game. You keep waiting for it to happen.
Yzerman gets the face-off, but it goes between the two-point men. And down the ice on Miracle. 5:15 gone, third period. The Avs leading 3-0 goals from Drury, Denmarsh, and Hayduk. Yzerman hits the red line. And lost the puck, and the Avs take over. Here's Fleury now. 4-on-3 into the Red Wing zone. Fleury with some moves in front. Side of the goal to Hayduk, and he can't get turned around for a shot. And Shanahan bursts across the line. Drops it back, and it comes to center. And the Avs intercept. Here's Milan and Hayduk, and he'll float it down the ice. And that's an icing call.
One guy for the Detroit Red Wings got off the ice pretty quickly was Yzerman on that last play. Now, Stevie Yzerman is going through one of those periods in your life when you're so many his wife is very, very pregnant. As a matter of fact, everyone in Detroit was told that they might induce the baby to come yesterday. And now he said he is not leaving her side. They're in the midst of a life and death struggle. Not life and death, but I mean a big struggle in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And now he has to leave and go back to Denver. He gets the call. He says he's going back to be there when she has their third child.
Although the word is they might induce after tonight's game because they have a couple of days off. And the puck did come to center. And poked in offside by Aaron Ward.
One of the guys that the Avalanche can talk to is Claude Lemieux. Claude Lemieux was a part of that Devil Club that won 10 of their 16 games. They only lost one road game that year. It was the first game of the 7-game series against Pittsburgh when Luc Robitaille scored in the final minute of that game. The Avalanche bounced back and won 3 more road games in Pittsburgh to win that series.
However, Peter, this is just a continuation from the regular season. As Odgers tips it in, the Avalanche ended the regular season on the road 13-4-2. If they win tonight, counting the playoffs, they would be 18-4-2 on the road.
I mean, that's sensational home numbers. never mind on the road. If you're on the road traditionally, and we're not traditional anymore, because last year it was 41 home wins, 41 road wins in the playoffs, so that whole thing has been thrown completely out the window. But you're supposed to be 500 on the road, and it gives you a chance to win series and win a cup. Now, I mean, this is almost ridiculous.
13:50 to go in the third. The Avs lead 3-zip. Ward a shot that was blocked to the corner. Miller gets it behind the net for Lefebvre and worked ahead by Denmark with some speed. Denmark nearly caught up to it, and had he gotten the puck, the Avs would have had a 2-on-1. And the Red Wings back in. Holmstrom had it chipped away, but the Avs recover, and Denmark will scoop it down the ice. Here are the Wings to center again. Ward, and Holmstrom was offside.
There's Larry Murphy out with Ward as a defensive pair. Fleury, who started this game with the visor. John, I think it was 2 shifts. That's all I can remember. And he took that off.
Rather strange. Adam Foote has not been on the ice the last couple of shifts, and he generally plays about every other shift, but he is on the bench, as you can see. Here it's Ozolinsh and Miller. The normal pairing. Shot by Dandeneau, kicked away by Waugh, and the puck chipped in the middle now for Sakic. Too far for Fleury, and this will be another icing call against the Avalanche.
And you have to hope for Foote. It's nothing serious. May have just got clipped in the mouth. They just want to take no chances with Adam Foote.
Again, the Subaru Forester has outperformed the competition, earning the highest overall rating of vehicles tested in its class in a recent crash test. But the real beauty of the Forester is that it can help you avoid accidents altogether by automatically transferring power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip for maximum control. Subaru Forester, the beauty of all-wheel drive. Drive the Forester, rated highest overall of vehicles tested in its class at your Subaru dealer.
The designation of master is reserved for those who achieve greatness, like Michelangelo, who specialized in the human form. The people at Cooney Lexus embrace specialization, representing Lexus and Lexus only. Cooney is Colorado's only winner of the Elite of Lexus Award for the last 3 years. Luxury has an address, Cooney Lexus on South Broadway in Littleton. Get into an ES300, just $429 a month and 0 down, or $289 a month, only at Cooney Lexus.
Tonight's Subaru game summary. The Avs lead 3-zip. Drury and Denmark both 2 points in the hockey game. Bill Ranford, the Red Wings goalie, poked for the second time in as many games. He faced 13 shots and allowed 3 goals.
Detroit had 26 scoring chances last game and were flying through the neutral zone. The Avalanche have really eliminated that part of the game for Detroit.
Now off a face-off, Kozlov gets the puck for Detroit. In the slot for Doug Brown, a shot that was well wide of the goal. Now picked up by Fedorov, trying to work off the near boards against Lefebvre, and Lefebvre does a great job on him. Now Brown puts it back of the goal. Kozlov missed it. Chelios again for the Red Wings. Back on the line to Lidstrom. Fires it. That was tipped away by a sliding Theo Fleury. And Sakic now on to Fleury with a Hayduk, and Fleury will just dump it in. And he goes off on the line change. Here come the Red Wings again. Kozlov chased back by Kamensky, now for Lidstrom, and he'll crank it in from center. Off the boards to Shanahan. Can't pull the trigger. Now in front. Here's Yzerman back of the goal. And he'll drop it back on the point and not out. Lidstrom on the line. A shot. Saved by Waugh. And the rebound was loose for a second. Lidstrom again in front. Now Clark trying to center, but Forsberg was right there. And a good defensive play now ahead for Lemieux. And he'll sail one down the ice. Every time down the ice, the Avalanche have all 5 players back and are breaking things up. Now Forsberg in front. He scores! A backhander by Forsberg! And the Avalanche lead it 4-0.
Great little play by Forsberg. He goes behind the net. Now, instantly, when Forsberg gets the puck, your first thoughts are he's going to pass it. But Forsberg comes around, and John, he just lifts it about 8 inches. So this goes across, vertical It goes far side, and the Avalanche gets Forsberg's first goal on the road so far in the playoffs. First goal of this series. Again, just the effort, shift after shift by the Avalanche has been so strong.
That is his third goal of the playoffs. It comes at 8:21, and the Avs with a 4-0 lead, and that should be the nail in the coffin as far as Game 4 is concerned.
And it's the first goal against Miracle. Forsberg unassisted. Here we'll have a look at it. You see that Forsberg goes in behind the net. See how he just, John, that was brilliant. I'm telling you. He goes in behind the net. The goaltender's stick is right there. He throws it flat. The goalie's, it's going to hit the goalie's stick. Gets it too high, the goalie's going to catch it. Just about 8 inches in the air, so the goalie just goes up over the stick of the goalie.
Forsberg came into this game with 3 assists in the series. Has a goal and an assist tonight. And this will be an icing call. Peter, I was talking to Mr. Forsberg at practice yesterday about Nicholas Lidstrom, his fellow countryman, and we've talked about Lidstrom and how he might go back to Sweden next year. And Peter was surprised as anybody. He said, look, all he can make next year in Sweden is about $500,000. Now he can make $6, $7, $8 million here, but Forsberg said that's as much as he could get. And I was saying, you know, it's surprising. How could this guy, but monetarily, how could he make that decision?
You know, you look at it, it's probably going to be the area of $7 million, $8 million. I mean, that's tough to give up. We're not talking about just a 4 or 5 year deal at $7, $8 million.
And again, that last goal, Forsberg unassisted at 8:21, and the Avs have a 4-0 lead. Samuelson at his own line. And Maltby dumps it in. Patrick Waugh leaves it in the corner for DeVries. He dodges a check from McCarty. The Avs facing the Red Wings grind line here, and you can tell the Red Wings want to get some big hits. And a penalty here, I think, on Detroit. Maybe matching minors, I'm not sure, but the Red Wings did have the puck.
Well, this was cute. Patrick Waugh, there was a little confusion. Patrick Waugh got bumped a little bit, and then he fell back into the net and just gave it a little bump with his back. And the referee is saying, you know, Patrick, no problem. Once is fine, but let's look at our key bank keys to this game. First 10 minutes of the hockey game, the Avalanche got the goal. Ranford rebound. The Avalanche chased Ranford in the second period and finally cut down the wing shots. They are down in this hockey to 25-47 last game. And here's the Avalanche. This was a great example of the Avalanche's game tonight. Nothing particularly outstanding other than the effort by each of the Avalanche players on that goal.
Well, Scotty Bowman has won 200 playoff games, 1,096 regular season games. I think he's been in this position before, and you know, Peter, he'll make some adjustments for Game 5.
And he's got 2 days to do it. He's got a very, very good hockey team, an experienced hockey club. Over the course of the last 4 years, this club, 5 years now, including this year, is 14-2 in playoff series. They've won 9 in a row. It's just, I think what's the most amazing part is that the Avalanche are coming into Detroit after losing that 4-0 game where nothing went right. The Avalanche have turned that around.
And this performance by the Avs in Game 4 has matched the Red Wings' dominance in Game 2. What a crazy series this has been. And the Avalanche are 10-10 away from tying the series at 2 and regaining home ice advantage. Although, is it an advantage? Odin from center.
The next phone call is going to be Pierre Lacroix trying to get Game 5 played here.
Now Holmstrom to center. Chelio's on the move. Slot shot right on goal. And a save by Waugh. And the Avs tip the rebound to center now for Sakic. Looks for the late man. Finds Ozolinsh. To the corner now to Fleury. Fleury back of the goal. Out the other side now for Miller. Lets it go, and that was wide. And the point for Detroit. Can't clear it now. Hayduk gets it. 2-on-1 down low. Hayduk in front. Missed the empty net. Oh, what a chance. And Hayduk did everything right and missed the empty net. And Fleury at the Red Wing bench is getting pushed a bit. And a penalty here as Chelios is mauling Fleury.
Well, that battle goes back to not these two teams, not Detroit and Colorado, but the Chicago-Calgary days. Well, Hayduk, one of the things you saw from the day one of training camp was not just the skill. It's one thing to have skill. It's another thing to have the Coyotes to walk in front of the net when there are people all around you, banging, whacking, going to hit you. And that's what Hayduk has got. He sees what he wants to do, and he'll make the play. There's Chelios trying to introduce Fleury to his new teammates. And you know right there what he's going after is the stitches. Chelios knows that Fleury's been cut over the eye, on the cheek, on the nose. Why not just see exactly what's going on?
And the Avs get a power play. They're 1 for 3 tonight. 4-0 for the Avs. Here comes Kamensky. Down the far boards now for Forsberg. He'll work to the corner now, back of the goal. Great pass in front. Oh, and Kamensky shot wide. Here's Miller with it for the Avalanche. What a play there by Forsberg. On the boards, Forsberg in front again. Lemieux can't pull the trigger. Here's Forsberg out high. Good pass for Aaron Miller. Now into Ozolinsh. He walks in. He shoots. They score! Kamensky! And the Avalanche are rolling here in Game 4.
John, you look back. It's Kamensky, who was so down when he got hurt. Of course, the slash by Maltby. Maltby was suspended for 4 games. But Kamensky looked like, maybe I'm not going to get back. Maybe I'm not going to have a chance to play again. And now he gets an assist, a big assist. And his play in Game 3 was so important. But here tonight, a little bit of extra. Just, you know, you hope it's not going to be an important game-winning goal. But it's a great goal to get because it breaks the ice. But Kamensky, no review, just a great goal by the Avalanche. But John Forsberg, how about that? Another assist. He now has 14 points after all the stuff that he took. He is now tied with Fleury for the lead in scoring in the playoffs.
Kamensky had 14 goals in the regular season and gets his first of the playoffs at 11:28 from Ozolinsh and Miller. So it wasn't Forsberg, it was Miller who made that other pass. Although Forsberg made the play and has been brilliant in these 2 games in Detroit.
Giving away Forsberg type play. They're all doing it right now.
And the Avalanche with a 5-0 lead. And remember, we said it earlier, the Red Wings did not allow over 3 goals in their last 17 games until Game 3. And now they've done it 2 straight at home. What a weird series this has been. And the Avalanche have owned it here in Game 4. And they will take a lot of momentum back to Denver on Sunday. Seating capacity in the Pepsi Center next year increases by nearly 2,000, and waiting list members will be offered available locations. For more information, call 303-575-1900. That is not Ranford. Peter, it's hard to describe the feeling in this building. And there was no energy to begin period 3 when the Red Wings came on the ice. So you can only imagine what it's like now for the Red Wing fans here.
They're disappearing. Them shaking their heads, walking out of this building, thinking that they were going to be leaving the building tonight with the Detroit moving on to the semifinals.
Here's Jeff Odgers with it. Back on the line for John Clem. Puts it on goal, and a save by Miracle. And we have a whistle. with 6:42 to go. Well, coming up Monday, Larry Walker and the Rockies. On Pittsburgh 2-2. Yager and Wawrinka have scored for the Penguins. Bahanas and Sundin for the Maple Leafs. That game is midway through the third.
Very relaxed Colorado Avalanche bench right now. They came in Detroit hoping to get one and take it back to McNichols. They've got two.
Look out here. Holmstrom has a breakaway. He works in, and Waugh made the save. Clem pulled him down, and we might see a penalty shot. Although he got a shot away, I don't think so.
If Clem had ever lost contact with Holmstrom and then grabbed him again, we might have seen the penalty shot. But Clem, when the shot was blocked, he kept on Holmstrom. You see him right here, never lost contact. You have to get a step, a clear step on the man, then be pulled down from behind. You see Clem right there. He's in there, right there within half a stride the whole way down the ice.
He did a good job against Speedy Holmstrom. And a holding mind of the Red Wings on their 5th power play. And they're 0 for 4 tonight. And now going back to game 3, the Red Wings are a combined 1 of 10 on the power play on home ice. And that one goal was scored with their goalie pulled. It was a 6-on-4. So the Avs have to feel very good about their penalty killing in the last 2 games.
They're pretty good about absolutely everything hockey-wise right now.
Here's Yzerman back on the line for Lidstrom. Lets it go, and that was wide. The right shoulder of Waugh. Forsberg there. There's Forsberg in the corner right in front of his own goal. With a gutsy pass, and Miller clears it down the ice.
Great play, but man, only a Forsberg could get away with that.
Now Lidstrom back to center ice. In for Shanahan. He's run to the boards by DeVries. Now they kick one to the corner for Kozlov. Centering pass, and Lemieux on it for the Avs. Out to Sackett. And Sackett at the Red Wing line. He left it. And Fedorov back in. Fires it right on, and a save by Waugh. A minute to go in the power play. Now Murphy for the Red Wings. Murphy on the wing, gets it back. Now for Fedorov. To the corner to Kozlov in front. They score! It may have hit DeVries or Wendell Clark. A weird goal. And the Red Wings finally beat Waugh.
It took a strange one. Hit the defenseman of Clark beside the net and bounced through the legs of Patrick Waugh. Waugh's the left side of the net. Puck comes through. I think the way it sort of the reaction was of people in front that may have hit DeVries. Yeah, DeVries right off the foot, left foot in behind Patrick Waugh.
It should be Kozlov's goal. His 5th of the playoffs at 14:40, and the Red Wings get a power play goal, so they continue their streak of having at least one power play goal in every game in the playoffs. And the lead is now 5-1. Here's LaPointe trying to clear. Now on for Dandino. Drop pass and a shot by LaPointe as well wide. Clark trying to center it. And Waugh knocked it away. And the puck to the far boards where Podine hops on it. And he gets it down the ice. And then he's run by Samuelson, who's hit from behind by Deadmarsh. And you could almost forecast this.
Well, Samuelson is going to be like, he's going to come across and try and make the big hit. You know that.
Well, Clark is doing his best to get at Podine. Samuelson is not done yet. And DeVries gives him a bit of a pitchfork.
Linesmen hate that when they control it. You take a shots scoring for the Avalanche in these 2 games here in Detroit. Go take you back to game 3. The guys that scored: Hey Duke, Drury, Hunter, Lemieux, and Fleury. I mean, it has just been, and then tonight, Hey Duke, Kamensky, Forsberg, Deadmarsh, Drury. Again, the line's getting involved offensively.
And that's the kind of balance you've got to have to win a series, to possibly win a cup.
And you go back to one thing, you know, it's Kamensky coming back in the lineup. What it has done for Colorado.
Well, out of that last breakers, we get matching minors to Samuelson and Podine. So we're skating 4-on-4 here. The Avs lead 5-1. 4:20 to go in the 3rd. Here's Lidstrom. Now to Kozlov. Lidstrom again. Drops it off for Fedorov, but Sakic gets back. And he breaks it up. And the puck to center. Fleury's ahead of the pack. And he was offside. The pass could not come quick enough, or Fleury would have had a breakaway.
Great idea by Ozolinsh, but he had to get around the man first. There's a happy camper right there. Bob Hartley. You know, he really, one of the things you have to be impressed with Hartley, but he didn't panic. He didn't, after game 2, it wasn't this massive stuff that's been thrown all over the dressing room. Hey, John, we know how badly we played. We know how well Detroit played. Let's start to turn it around. And for Colorado, you really go back, John, to that one strange play. That's strange, but play in the first period when Yzerman hit the crossbar with the score 1-0. Detroit. The Avalanche eventually score a 5-on-3 and go on to win that hockey game. What would have happened? Yzerman puts that one in.
Peter, that's how the Oilers series last year turned around. The Avalanche, remember, were leading 3-1 in game 5, led 1-0, and Krupp in period 2 hit both goalposts, no goal. The Oilers came back, won in the 3rd, won the game, and obviously won the series. That's how that series turned around.
And so, you know, you start talking about the momentum of those little things. And now for Detroit, what they have to do is they have to find that balance and come back to Colorado and play the same way they did in game 2.
Here's Maltby off the face-off, a shot, and Waugh makes the save. It may have been deflected, but he was right there. Game 5 of this series Sunday in Denver, and you can see it on Fox television beginning at noon Mountain Time. The Avalanche, with home ice advantage in their pocket, looking to take their first lead in the series.
And you know, these people, Denver is going to be pumped for this game. Whether it's at Jackson's or at McNichols, it's going to be a wild day Sunday in Colorado.
Here's Dandino. This pass picked up, and the Avs have a 2-on-1. Hayduke with Deadmarsh. What a pass! Deadmarsh shoots. He scores! Deadmarsh gets a second on a great feed from Hayduke.
You can say what you want about everybody for the Colorado Avalanche. My star of the game tonight is Adam Deadmarsh. Hayduke has played well. That was a great pass, but Adam Deadmarsh been killing penalties. He's been great on draws. He gets his second goal. He assisted on the Avalanche's first goal by Drury. Hayduke makes a beautiful little pass right here. Hayduke, who gets his first points in this series, in this game.
What a pass.
That's just, and Deadmarsh, his second goal. Deadmarsh now leads the Avalanche in goals with 6 for playoffs.
One ahead of Fleury, the goal at 16:36. It came 4-on-4, and that is the first goal by the Avalanche. Skating 4-on-4 in these playoffs. And it's 6-1. Here's Doug Brown for the Red Wings. 15 to go in the minors to Podine and Samuelson back on the point for Chelios. Now Martin Lapointe for the Red Wings. Centering pass intercepted. Now Brown gets it back. On the line again. LaPointe lets it go. That was off a leg and wide. Modine and Samuelson have returned. Denmark got that goal from Hayduk at 16:36. Now Sean Bodine in front of Denmark for the hat trick. And it's saved by Miracle. Oh, what a save there. Here's Dandeneau down the boards. In front, and Hayduk steps in front of that pass. And the Avalanche on their way to center again. Peter, the only unanswered question tonight is, will we see some ugliness from Detroit in the last 2 minutes?
Well, you never know. Hockey's a very passionate game. You never know what's going to happen. But I think the next big question is obviously what is going to happen in goal for the Detroit Red Wings.
The Avalanche have plenty of firepower on the ice. Rogers, Reichel, and Hunter. If it gets nasty here. 1:45 to go. You're right, though. The real question is, what does Bowman do in goal for Game 5?
You'd be stunned if it was Miracle. I mean, I just think that it would be, there's a lot of pressure on a guy that has never played a playoff game.
But again, you've watched Osgood practice the last few days, and you don't think he's ready, do you?
But, again, it's got 2 more days, and, maybe he's just making 100% sure that he doesn't tweak it again. But he sure didn't look like the kind of goaltender that was going to be able to jump right in and feel 100%.
Hartley is double shifting the Odgers line here, and they'll be on at the end of the game. So he's taking no chances at all. He wants his top boys on the ice. Ozone clears it with a minute to go in this one. And Murphy goes back. Let's see who the Red Wings have on the ice. Here's Samuelson up the middle. Now for Kozlov. Through an opening, a shot. He scores! What a shot by Kozlov. He's seconded out.
Enormous early in this game for the Avalanche. This is a great shot by Kozlov. The first one was a lucky one, but that was just a great shot. It takes nothing away from the game that Patrick Waugh played. This was as complete a win as the 4-0 game that the Detroit Red Wings had in Game 2.
Maybe even more so.
Gentlemen, what's interesting? Everyone's talking so much about what a great series this was going to be. There really hasn't been a great game yet. Game 1, you look at it, and Detroit's coming off 10 days that they hadn't played. They were a little bit rusty. The Avalanche were just getting themselves back into the next series after a six-game series against San Jose. Game 2 is a complete win by Detroit. The Avalanche win games 3 and 4 here. So convincing. There has not been one nail-biter which has been played extremely well. Game 1 went into overtime, but there were pockets of that game where both teams didn't play that well.
The Avs win the face-off. Unless the Red Wings score again, Hayduk will get the winner. He got the 3rd goal tonight. And that will be his 3rd game winner in the playoffs.
What's interesting for the Avalanche, if it does hold up, is that rookies will score 4 to 6 game winners for the Avalanche in the playoffs.
All right, time for tonight's Discover card. Payback, playback.
Well, the Avalanche, so many nice plays made. This was the one that made it. 6 goals for the Colorado Avalanche. Denmarsh's 2nd goal of the night. Hey, Duke, beautiful pass, but that's the kind of night it has been for Colorado. When they've got the puck, offensively they were taking their chances. And what did they do better in this 3rd period than the last game? Didn't sit back. They went at Detroit in the 3rd period.
And they have not been shorthanded in this 3rd period. So very composed and disciplined. And Patrick Waugh storming off after Game 3. I think sent a message to his team. And we have some trouble brewing right at the Avalanche bench. Everybody is there. The game is over. And Patrick Waugh picks up another playoff victory. But this could get ugly. Denmarsh, he throws the gloves off. Peter, the biggest concern for the Avs right here, you don't worry that they're going to get beat in a fight. You don't want to get a suspension at this point.
Right. There was some, you know, they're going to look at it. The thing about it is fights at the end of the game like this, John, they lead to suspension because the league hates this. Ryan Lewis is here. John D'Amico, I mean, the league has a lot of big people here, and they hate these last-minute things because they look so bad. Now, I'm saying from either side.
Well, Maltby has the gloves off. Deadmarsh for the Avalanche, but it doesn't look like it will escalate, and that's good news. The Avalanche want the win. They've got it, and they can fly home tonight knowing that they've regained home ice advantage with a stunning 6-2 victory here in Detroit.
And who would have thunk it, John? We'd be heading back even with the Avalanche winning. And the way that they have won these 2 games, they have dominated 2 games in a row in the Stanley Cup Champions building.
The people had the brooms out to start game 3. The brooms are gone. So for Peter McNabb, I'm John Kelly saying good night from Joe Louis, where the Avs win 6-2.